Coming up on today's show, we've got a recap of the Resident Evil Showcase Part 2, and Nintendo announced a bunch of indies are coming to Switch.
Hi!
What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday. I'm one of your hosts, Andrea Renee, joined by Miss Brittany Brombacher.
Yeah.
Hello. And Miss Christine Steimer.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, that
Wow,
was a
nailed
very,
it.
very nice
I was really
interpretation.
good at the musical puzzle in Quest for Glory.
I was not anticipating you going there, but we all know from the fantastic compilation of the best of the funny stuff that we showed during our anniversary stream that you have talent for making up songs on the fly.
It's true.
Don't know if we can classify it as a talent, but rather an affinity.
I would, because let me
I
tell
would
you
too.
that Go to Therapy Men song was stuck in my head forever.
The way you just dropped that, she's not your therapist. That was like a fucking like Metallica like lyric right there. That was great.
Where's the Metallica song that's called that? Go to therapy.
She's not your therapist. I love it. Speaking of our anniversary, thank you to everybody who joined our live stream at twitch.tv/whatsgoodgames and participated in the chat and hung out with us as we shared our pretty exciting news.
We're to knock the fuck up.
Wow.
We sure are.
That's a very eloquent way of stating it. Love it.
It's true. The news is finally
To clarify,
out.
they are. I'm not. Brittany and Andrea pregnant. Steimer not pregnant.
There was some people that were like, okay, so what's Steimer's announcement? And we're like, there's
There is
not
no
one.
announcement.
There's-
My announcement
Steimer
is
gets
I'm
some
busy
months
living
off.
my life. That's my
Yeah.
announcement.
Exactly. She can still have mimosas with champagne in them, whereas I just
Yeah.
put sparkling water in it. Wah, wah. But soon we will return to the land of wine and whiskey.
Oh, it's gonna be a glorious return.
Yes.
It's gonna be glorious.
Just like dreaming about the day. Anyway, this is What's Good Games. And one of the amazing things about our show is that it's completely independently financed by people like you who go to patreon.com/whatsgoodgames, like our April Patreon producers, Chewy's Godson, Alex Rigopulos, Faris Attieh, Justin Foshee, Marcus Ian Brown, Trevor Starkey, Mohammed Mohammed, Punkdefied, and welcome to the producing crew, ProgramAlice. Plus, we've got some new members to our Patreon community. Lindsay Adams, Lidl Chew, Stephen Giles, Versh, Valerie Freeman, and Patrick Cravenly. Thank you so much for being part of the amazing crew that supports everything we do here at What's Good. Don't forget, you guys can be part of the show by submitting your questions every week on the site, and you can also get the show ad-free in our Epic membership tier or participate in fun things like the Patreon Happy Hour Q&A, the exclusive Patreon podcast, and our fun merch tier and more. Brittany, we also have a couple new podcast reviewers.
We do. Oh boy, Muppets out. We have Ola X2000 and TJ Star 2099. Thank you so much for those lovely 5-star reviews, and we appreciate your constructive criticism as well, Ola X2000. That was a very thoughtful review you left. Thank you. But nonetheless, it was still 5 stars. And again, like, your reviews help us in so many ways within the algorithms. It helps people find our show. It puts us high on those little tippity top charts so people can discover us. And we appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thank you.
We appreciate you.
Talk
Well, let's go ahead and get into some news.
Brittany's face.
Starting with the Resident Evil Showcase hosted by one Brittany Brombacher. Congratulations,
That's
Britt. You did an amazing
you!
job.
Thanks. It was fun. I was talking about this during the stream that it was nice because this time we got to go to an actual studio set, like a place in Seattle where it was.
Fancy.
I know, I felt real fancy. And because the first one was all shot in one of our spare bedrooms, which turned out fine. Like, they did a fantastic job, but it was kind of cool to be able to feel like I was in a big girl studio. But
yeah, I mean, hopefully the next one that you do, Wink, I mean, I don't know if you're doing another one, but if you got the chance to do another one, it would be great if they like also got you a Lady D outfit or something and like did the makeup artist so you could look like a vampire in the game. Like that would be awesome.
And I can step on the camera.
That would have to probably be a post-game event now that I'm thinking about it, because that game is going to come out soon. But
that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, the game is out in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
May 7th, man. But yeah, this showcase
right after my birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
Not for me. Not for me.
I know. Shout out to Sandra who joined us for the live stream today, because she was like, I don't give a fuck about this game, but I do care about you, waifu. And you joined us. Always appreciated.
I'm sorry I keep cutting you off. Please continue.
No, it's okay. Anyone cut me off, it's you. But yeah, so we shot this back in early March. So it was a much quicker turnaround as opposed to the last one. But we did get to see some fun stuff. And it's kind of crazy right now because now I'll rightly admit I have pregnant brain. So I'm trying to remember like what happened. What did I talk about? Like what did we shoot during that? So it's always fun to see the showcase come back and be like, oh yeah, that's a thing. So I would say like the first thing that we saw was the new Resident Evil trailer. And in this trailer, there wasn't anything super like new and like jaw dropping, but we did get to see some interesting new characters, like not new characters, but some interesting parts of the game, like the Lycans and Gentlemen. I think Steimer, that got a chuckle out of you too.
Yeah, I thought that was clever.
Yeah. I think that's Lady D's brother there with like the crazy hammer and the glasses. He was kind of fun. And there's all this talk about Mother Miranda, and apparently she's always protected the village, but now for some reason she ain't protecting shit. She's just trying to fuck everything up. Yeah. She's probably, well, I don't know. She's like this weird, like religious figure, I think is what it is. And we just see all these throwbacks to the umbrella logo, like we're looking at right here on youtube.com/whatsgoodgames. There's those 4 crests there. And I think they all 4 are linked to some of these main characters. Like you saw the one with the flower, that's Lady D's, I think. You see a horseshoe, a mermaid, something else. I don't know what the hell it is. And there's this part where Lady D like slashes Ethan's wrist and then she starts sucking his blood. And she's like, let's see how special. She's like, let's see how special you are, but in her sultry voice. And my guess is it's because he's infected by the mold from Resident Evil 7. And so she wants to taste what his blood is like, all fucked up and shit.
Gross. If I was a vampire, I wouldn't be like, moldy blood. Delicious.
It's kind of like in True Blood, though. Suge. He wanted to drink all of the fairy blood.
Fairy dust. Fairy dust sounds much different than mold.
You know, when you put it that way, like you're not wrong at all. But yeah, I mean, this game just looks creepy as hell. Obviously, we're not seeing our usual zombies. It's more of like these lycans, werewolves, and vampires and whatnot. But yeah, this part right here, she's like, oh, look how disgusted she looks after. She's like, I don't know if I like it. Anyway, so that was the new trailer.
Too moldy. Tastes like blue cheese.
Ew. I used to like blue cheese, but for some reason it doesn't
crack
good.
Me up.
So anyway, that was the trailer. But then the next like big news is that Resident Evil 4 is coming to Oculus. So unfortunately, this was part of the leaks that happened when Capcom got the hack sword. And it was rumored that Resident Evil 4 was coming to Oculus. This isn't the Resident Evil 4 remake that everybody's hoping for. But still, I think it's kind of a fun little thing. So through the official press release, this is what Capcom said about it. One of the most revered games in the industry, Resident Evil 4, gets a whole new perspective as Capcom confirmed Resident Evil 4 will be available later this year on Oculus Quest 2, the next generation all-in-one VR. More details will be shared during the Oculus Gaming Showcase at 3 p.m. Pacific on April 21st on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So we don't have all the details, but we did get to see some fun little close-ups, like the Del Lago fight, Steimer, which is that big worm thing that you're like, what the hell is that? Yeah, and then you obviously have like Leon's floating hands because they have no arms in VR games.
I just find it, to me, that's part of why there's multiple reasons why I don't like VR games, but one of them is trying to take any game seriously where I have just 2 floating hands.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't do it.
It's true. That's a good point. But hopefully that RE4 remake is still coming. We did get a question about this from Mitch Krasson on patreon.com/whatsgoodgames, who says, Merry Congratulabirthmas to everyone over at WGG. Question about Resident Evil. Why wasn't the RE4 VR announcement not a part of the main show? Now, ladies, if I had to take a guess, I would say it's because Oculus wants the eyeballs, and saying that you're going to have Resident Evil 4 VR as like one of your main titles at your showcase would do just that. But what do you think? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think also, like, I mean, I guess I don't really understand what he means by that, because it was part of the showcase. Or does he mean not part of the first showcase?
I think what he's asking is, why are we getting all of the major details for Resident Evil 4 VR at the Oculus showcase and not during this showcase?
Oh, I see. Well,
Yeah.
probably because that's just the way that these announcements work, is that they'll announce part of the details at one and then the other details at the other. It's like, if you think about E3, a lot of times what we'll get like a teaser at one of the big platform showcases, like Xbox or PlayStation's showcase, and then we'll get like a deeper dive at like the individual publishers showcase. So like Ubisoft, for example, like they'll show, maybe something for Assassin's Creed on Xbox's stage, and then they'll do like a deeper dive on the Ubisoft stage. So I think that's kind of what we got here, was like we got like a tease about it in the Resident Evil showcase, and then we're going to get, a deeper look. Because I think they also realize that most people who are tuning into the showcase are probably just there to see the new hotness for Resident Evil Village, and the diehards are obviously there to see all of the Resident Evil news, such as yourself. And then it allows people who are just interested in the VR news and who maybe own a Quest to tune in to this specific Quest showcase.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed it's on the Quest, though, to be real. Because, like, Facebook, man. Just Facebook. I'd rather have it be on a PlayStation VR. But it's kind of fun looking at RE4 gameplay in VR, because you have all this inventory management, because you have to, get your gear all organized and Tetris-like. And it's like, how's that going to work? I mean, I'm sure it's been done in VR games many times over again. I just haven't played them. But
there was a demo, or it looked like a clip of what it looked like.
Yeah, but how cumbersome is it going to be to actually, like, do it? It's like,
I see. Yeah.
Unless they're going to do, like, an auto Tetris your inventory. That would be great. That'd be awesome. Other than that, the other major announcement was the demo. So we knew a demo was coming this spring, but we didn't know what kind of demo or what it would be like. And they're doing things a little different, because the maiden demo was PS5 exclusive. Or was it also on PS4? I can't remember. Either way, it was PlayStation exclusive. But
I thought it was PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, that sounds right. Because they had their panties in a tight and twisted bundle, and understandably so. Like, not everyone, hardly anyone has a PS5. Let me rephrase that. So this comes from the Capcom press release. So players are invited to get an early taste of the action-packed horror that awaits when Resident Evil Village launches on May 7th. Players can explore the village and castle areas of the game for up to 60 minutes in a limited time demo for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Steam, and Stadia. This multi-platform demo will be accessible for 24 hours starting May 1st at 5 p.m. Pacific for North America, South America, and Latin America residents, with a preload option starting April 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific. But in advance of the multi-platform demo, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 players will have 2 early access opportunities where they will have an 8-hour window to play 30 minutes for each section. The first date will offer the village portion starting April 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific, with a preload option starting today, which is the 15th of April, at 4 p.m. Pacific. A second date will offer the castle area starting on April 24th at 5 p.m., with a preload option also starting today at 4 p.m. Okay, so seeing it written out like this, now I get it. So essentially, if you have PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, you get to do the castle and the village separately. You get 30 minutes each, and then those two launch on May 7th. And essentially, you can do 30 minutes there. Okay, I think I have my head wrapped around it. It's kind of confusing, right?
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
I thought it was May 1st. What's on May 1st?
What is May 1st?
Isn't that the platform wide?
Yeah. That's the multi-platform demo. and that will be accessible for 24 hours starting on May 1st.
Whatever. I mean, this is like
I thought you were gonna play it anyway.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna play it anyway, but I
anyway.
did when they were trying to announce all this stuff today. I was like, this feels really convoluted, and now trying to read it again right now with you trying to explain it, I'm like, I still don't understand it, but.
Yeah, the TLDR is if you have a PS4 or PS5, starting this weekend, the 17th, you'll be able to do the village portion of the demo for 30 minutes. But you're only going to have an 8-hour window to play.
Yeah, but this date's not the 7th. But what confused me when you were like, it's on May 7th. I'm like, why would you have a demo on May 7th?
The game releases on May 7th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I just was half listening to what you were saying and only came in at that portion.
That's
that may have been what happened there.
As long as you just smile and nod when I'm talking, Steimer, that's all I need. That's all the confirmation I need.
I can do that.
Thanks, baby.
Wonderful.
Okay. Andrea, are you going to play the demo?
Well, I played the Maiden demo, so
Andrea's less scared
I
than
probably
I am.
will. It sounds like a fun stream to do.
Oh, shit. There you go.
Especially since we can pre-download, because that was the biggest problem with Maiden, is that they launched it, the day of the last showcase, as you recall, and
Yeah.
as I mentioned on
broke.
stream when we were doing our watch along, PlayStation Network shit the bed because everybody was trying to download it at the same time. And so I just gave up any attempt at potentially streaming that demo, and I waited a couple of days until the network was chill again and then downloaded it and played it. But I can pre-download them now.
Yeah, you can. They're like, okay,
Neat.
we learned from our last mistakes. The next major thing was Resident Evil Mercenaries returns in Resident Evil Village. So the fan favorite mode, the Mercenaries, makes its much requested return with rich content and rewards, providing variety and replayability beyond the main gameplay in Resident Evil Village. But players must complete increasingly challenging objectives before the clock runs out in this additional game mode, which is unlocked by completing the main campaign.
So
the
you
Duke
cannot
Merchant-
just jump into it.
Correct. So Andrea has to play it.
Fine.
So the Duke Merchant from the main game appears in the mode, offering weapons and upgrades to help tackle the challenges. Additionally, players can acquire abilities that enhance their weapons or physical abilities. So this is a mode that people have been asking for a while. It's not my favorite mode because it's very arcadey in the sense that it's just like survive and defeat these enemies as quickly as you can, then move on to the next level. I'm more into, like, as Steimer would put it, looking at toilet paper and trying to figure out how it got there in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the last time we saw this mode in a Resident Evil game was in Resident Evil 6. I think the first time we saw it was in Resident Evil 4, I think, on the GameCube. But this time it's first person, and you can buy different guns, ammo, weapon upgrades. There's abilities that you can use that'll help your ventures in Mercenaries mode. But yeah, I mean, when Andrea saw it, she's like, "This looks more my speed."
Yeah, it does, because it feels like a lot of the
Action.
shooters that I already play and enjoy. And having played a little bit of Resident Evil now and spent some time with it, I think that something that's a little bit more action based, even though obviously with the time trial and the enemies running at you, feels more my speed, because it's the atmospheric spooky stuff that really freaks me out in Resident Evil. The okay, you have to walk around this area and solve a puzzle, but you don't know what's lurking behind a door or a corner. Is there
And
a
you may or
licker
may
on
not
the
be
ceiling?
armed yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you might have ammo, or you might not.
Right. Or you might just randomly pick up a key that you didn't know makes Mr. X really thirsty for you. And
Wait, what? That happens?
yeah, so that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that when you're doing the puzzles in RE2, certain things will trigger him to come after you?
Oh.
Yeah, that's the staple of Resident Evil, is you never know what picking up a certain item is going to do. You might go through a room, everything's fine and chill, whatever. You pick up a key or anything, and then suddenly, yeah, Mr. X is pounding at your door wanting to kill you.
No, thank you, sir.
Sarah's like, I'm good.
There's
no thanks.
nothing for you
But
here.
yeah, but here in Mercenaries, it's okay, you have to defeat these enemies. Here's the time you have. You can set your loadout for that specific trial that you're doing. Now that to me is I like that, because I can go in prepared. I know exactly what I'm getting into, and it might be stressful, but
But it's managed.
right,
It's
exactly.
not
not
trying to
utter
spook you.
chaos, which I understand. I'm with you. That
Yeah.
to me also is more manageable. So if I didn't have to play through the entire campaign to get to this, I would definitely try it out. But I'm Don't think I could make it through that. Can you just open this?
Well,
Just
hopefully
make it
they'll have
available.
baby ass baby mode again, like they've had in the last couple.
Yeah, I don't want to see them doing bad things to people.
Our little pure Steimer baby. She's like, no, I just
See there's enough bad shit going on in the world. I don't need any more.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. A few other little tidbits that we got from this showcase is that they have partnered with Behavior Interactive to collaborate on Dead by Daylight, which Steimer called
this is the thing I
immediately.
called. I was
Yeah.
like, that looks like one of the hooks from Dead by Daylight because I was hung up there for a little while. It's a very unique looking place to be.
Yeah, we don't know what the collaboration is going to look like. We don't know what enemies are going to be a part of it or if they're going to bring some of the main heroes, but there you go. It's there.
Yeah, they gave us just a tiny little tease about what we can see. And we had some fun speculation in the chat. I had said, it would be really cool to see, Tyrant as an enemy that you can play as a killer that you can play as. And then I think it was Whiskey Jack was like, bring on Tofu.
Oh, yeah.
I do think
That
Tofu
was
would be
so
a
great.
ridiculous costume for the survivors.
Yeah.
Well, like
That
you
would
would be
be
caught
really
out
funny.
immediately. I don't really know why you would wear it, but that's like my cute ass outfit in that game got me spotted, and I was like, this seems like a mistake.
Was it your
See,
outfit?
Why? Yeah, because I swear, if I was wearing brown or something, you would have walked past me and not seen me.
Like
But I was
a
wearing
ghillie suit.
I was wearing bright pink, so it was like there's clearly a person in the bush.
Fair.
This is why Steimer doesn't play horror games.
And I was like, shit. It was the clothes. Ditch the clothes.
But you looked so
Ditch the
cute as you
gloves.
were on that hook.
I did look very attractive with blood pouring out of my wrists.
At least you looked good. I think we'll get more info on the Dead by Daylight on May 25th is when they're doing a reveal stream.
Yes.
So there you go. And finally, we got a new trailer for Netflix's Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which is coming in July. And the exciting little tie-in with this is that this takes place 2 years after Resident Evil 4. And Leon is yet again attempting to protect a president. We saw how that all went in Resident Evil 6 for him, but anyway. And the president is Ashley's father, who is the really annoying blonde woman in Resident Evil 4, who's like, Leon! The whole time.
Leon!
Oh my God. It's the worst.
Does he borrow her straightening iron?
I think so, because the first thing Steimer noticed was like, how long does it take for you to straighten your hair, Leon? Because in Resident Evil 4, like he definitely goes with this like super straight, like emo kind of look. And it wasn't that long and straight in Resident Evil 2. I mean, granted, Resident Evil 2, he saw some shit. Like we get it. And now maybe this is him.
Now he's like, this
expressing
is me being very polished and put together.
Yeah.
Until
So
shit
maybe
happens again.
there you go. So maybe we'll get some info on canon-wise, like what happens with Ashley's father, what happens with Ashley, because we really don't know a lot of what happens after Resident Evil 4. But I think this looks really good. I think Steimer or Andrea, whatever, one of you were like, no, and I was like, yes.
That was me.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's just because it was like
Obviously.
the zombie coming at you. I'm just like, this definitely not a thing I will put on my Netflix because that will not relax me whatsoever. I will be very stressed out. I don't mind the people parts. If you just took me through the relationship stuff, that'd be fine. But then as soon as there's zombies, I'm out.
Yeah. I'm happy that it's all zombies, though. Like, don't get me wrong. I
know that's what you love the most, so I'm
that's
happy
what
for
I love
you.
the most. Yeah. We just haven't had good old-fashioned zombies in a hot minute, and now we're getting them back. And I love it. But yeah, that was the showcase. Woo!
It was great. It was fun. And if you guys want to watch our watch along, you can check out that archive on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/whatsgoodgames. And of course, expect more Resident Evil content coming in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be cutting it close. I wonder when the embargo is going to be.
I know. I said I'm probably going to go into labor from playing Resident Evil Village. It's probably like that's my plan.
It's not a bad plan, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
pretty
elevate your
good.
heart rate.
But I will be very mad if my water breaks in the middle of the game and I haven't finished it. So we'll see.
That's when you'll be like, okay, we're gonna bring a TV and Jason needs like that's on your bug out bag kind of situation is like everything to play a video game while in labor.
I would not be surprised. I mean,
If anyone would do it, it's you.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They have those
I'm
little
trying
Greg used to have, or he probably still does, like the little portable, or you have one too, the little
games?
portable, game
Games
monitor things.
Oh yeah,
It's doable, friend.
All my nurses will love me.
Whatever you gotta do. You can fucking breathe through while you're playing a game. You'll be fine.
Like, don't put the kid on my chest. Hold on, I'm finishing this level. Hold on.
Somebody else hold the baby, please.
Hold on. I'm almost done.
Cut the cord. Let's get this over with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Honestly, that'd be really
Priorities.
impressive if you could actually give birth while playing Resident Evil.
That would be pretty great.
Be in the history books. Maybe
It would make
that
a
be a
great
Guinness
headline.
World Record? Maybe.
Woman plays Resident Evil while giving birth.
Yes.
That would be me.
There you go.
You and your baby, free food for life at the Capcom Cafe.
Oh my God, yes.
I love it. Now you just got to name, little Brombacher like Leon or something.
Yeah, right. It was kind of like when Bethesda, if you named your child Dovahkiin, you got free games.
That's just
kind of
mean, though. Like, Leon's at least a nice name.
That's true. Leon.
Yeah.
Dovahkiin's like...
That poor kid, for the rest of that kid's life, everyone's going to be like, how do you spell that?
How do you pronounce it?
Yep.
Or they're going to know where it's from, which would be worse because they'll just shout things at you.
Yeah. Oh,
true.
no. The Foos Rodel
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Don't do that to your child.
Poor little Dovahkiin. All right. Let's keep moving on with the news. But before we do that, I want to let you know this episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Have you ever browsed in incognito mode? You know you have. We all have. Incognito mode is mostly great, right? Well, it's probably not as incognito as you think. And why would it be? Incognito mode, like Chrome itself, is a Google product. And we all know that Google has made its fortune by tracking your movements online. I mean, who hasn't been searching for something on the internet and then you open a new web page and boom, the ads just follow you everywhere. I swear, it's my plight. There's even a $5 billion class action lawsuit against Google right here in California where it's accused of secretly collecting user data. What? Google's defense, though, is incognito does not mean invisible. So how do you actually make yourself invisible as possible while you're browsing online? ExpressVPN. It turns out that even in incognito mode, your online activity still gets tracked and data brokers still get to buy and sell your data. One of these data points is your IP address. Data harvesters use your IP to uniquely identify you and your location. But with ExpressVPN, your connection gets rerouted through an encrypted server and your IP address is masked. Every time you connect to ExpressVPN, you'll get a random IP address shared by many other ExpressVPN customers. That makes it harder for third parties to identify you and harvest your data. Best of all, ExpressVPN is super easy to use. No matter what device you're on, whether it's your phone, your laptop, your smart TV, all you have to do is tap one button for instant protection. So if you really want to go incognito or invisible to protect your privacy, secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN. Visit expressvpn.com/whatsgoodgames and get 3 extra months for free. That's expressvpn.com/whatsgoodgames. expressvpn.com/whatsgoodgames. The next thing we're going to talk about is another showcase, but a very different showcase than the Resident Evil showcase. This is the Nintendo Indie World. So this event happened earlier this week, and Nintendo came out to say, hey, we've got some really cool indies that we want to talk about coming to the platform. And Nintendo has been doing a pretty great job of fostering a really interesting field of indie games on the eShop. And this was actually a pretty jam-packed announcement. It was funny because I saw some folks from Nintendo, mainly one, John Vignacchi, make a joke about how it won't be 3 hours. And I was like,
oh,
I know. I was like, that's a direct dig at Xbox's showcase that they did for ID at Xbox. But they did pack a bunch of announcements in, so we're just going to kind of run down them as quickly as possible. Of course, if you want to see the full showcase, you can head on over to Nintendo's YouTube channel. According to our fine friends at Shack News, the April 14th Nintendo Indie World Showcase included things like the stylish aerial knights never yield to the spooky and surprising Oxenfree 2, which is probably one of the bigger announcements of the showcase. And they're
I
all
liked Oxenfree.
Yeah, you did. They're the same folks who made After Party.
Yeah.
I feel like there was potential there for an epic Ollie Ollie Oxenfree title, because there was a game called Ollie Ollie World released. Or
Yes.
Ollie Ollie
revealed.
Oxenfree World.
Ollie
There we
Ollie making a comeback. So just to be clear, a lot of these games are also coming to other platforms, but they were announced for Nintendo Switch. So don't get your panties in a bunch if you're like, I want to play this game on my PlayStation or whatever. You're probably going to be able to. So Shack News did a great job of kind of putting together a little rundown of all of the announcements that came through. So I'm just going to quickly run through them first. So we got Road 96. We got Aerial Knights Never Yield. Ollie Ollie World. Hindsight. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
looks so good.
Yeah.
Shredder's Revenge, which was amazing. Aztec Forgotten Gods, which was co-written by one Alexa Ray Korea, which is a really cool thing to find out. Last Stop. Konami's Getsu Fumaden Undying Moon revives the classic Famitsu franchise, which is coming later this year. Skull the Hero Slayer. Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, The Longing, 2D, 3D classic platformer Fez makes a return, coming to once again another platform, because Fez is out on like 7 or 8 platforms now. So if you missed it the first time around, now would be a great time to pick it up. Art of Rally and the co-op bird mailroom game, Kiwi. That's spelled K-E-W, not
That's
like
really cute.
K-I. And then I thought was cute. I thought it was a cute play on words.
Kiwis that wear hats.
Yeah, exactly.
Are the birds in their kiwis?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I have some of this pulled up, but obviously there's too many trailers for us to go through.
Yes.
Absolutely all of them, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that happened at the showcase. So, Britt, I know you were watching this live. Did any of this kind of like float your boat or spark your attention?
Oh, yeah. Well, Kiwi is one of them, because, yeah, it stars 2 small Kiwi birds named Jeff and Deborah.
Oh!
And they work in a whimsical post office, and they must jump, flap, peck, and butt slam their way across an interactive landscape of levers, bells, buttons to get those messages delivered on time. Yeah, so
And
that one
butt
looked really
slam.
cute. Yeah, it looked really cute. And the other one that I thought was interesting is a game called There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension. And it just looks... I don't quite understand it, and people have tried to explain what this game is, but they fail. So I'm kind of curious just to hop into it myself and try to figure out what it is. So There Is No Game is a point-and-click comedy adventure that will take you on a journey you never asked to go on through silly and unexpected video game universes. So it just looks very weird, and it looks like it's a whole bunch of video games smashed into one. And it sounds like there's a narrator that's always telling you, like, there's no game here, go home, like, stop playing. But if you keep playing, you unravel some sort of, like, story. I don't quite get it, but it just sounds different and unique. So I feel like that's the one I'm, like, most looking forward to downloading and actually trying out. But, I mean, like, Road 96 looks interesting. It's like that rogue. Yeah, There Is No Game right here. Like, it's hard to tell, like, what it is, because this looks like it could be, you know, like an
bunch
RPG.
of different genres, like all smashed together.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't really understand what it is.
Stop
but
running
that's
away,
okay.
you coward. No, I
Yeah.
will continue to run as fast as these little pixelated legs will take me.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the Road 96, which is described as hitchhike your way to freedom in this crazy procedurally generated road trip made by renowned indie creators. No one's road is the same. And it sounds like you're just hitchhiking, but for some way you're able to change like who you're hitchhiking with, what you're running away from, why you're running away from, and it all changes as you play. And it's just kind of like a chill game. Like a chill, like, okay, well, let's hitchhike and see where we end up. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a stressful game. Maybe you'll die. I don't know.
I mean, I hope
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
You were selling me on it with the chill part. You were like, it's a chill hitchhiking game. I was
Well,
like,
there was a part where you're like, we're trying to run away from, and then what they would do in the trailers mentioned several of the options that you might find, the situations you might find yourself in. And one of them was like, bad guys. And then it showed someone, this is the game, showed someone holding like a submachine gun, shooting
Yikes.
people, yeah, right here, right? So I don't really know how peaceful it is. I don't know. Maybe you can die. Maybe you can live. Who could say? But it was interesting about the showcase is I felt there was a little bit of everything for anyone in here, something for anyone in it, all
Oh my
bunch of
God.
different kinds of games. But yeah, the game.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
just like somebody was holding a gun at you in a car, and I'm like, this is intense, actually.
Mm-hmm,
I would like to not run away from people. I would like to just go on adventures.
If only humanity was so much better than it actually is.
True.
Wah, wah.
Rip.
So I think one of the other things, obviously, you know, I kind of alluded to it already, but I think one of the biggest announcements, of course, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles return to Nintendo. I think we all remember the glory days of TMNT on the Game Boy. At least,
Oh, yeah.
maybe I'm the only
No.
one, but
Nope.
I spent so much time playing that game on Game Boy.
I was
I
just
love
thinking
this.
back to when we were all in Oklahoma and we played it on an arcade at that bar. At the barcade.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Oh, we had those epic
I don't know
Jello
if it was
shots
specifically
too.
this one, but yeah, we played a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game there. It was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the footage for this
yeah.
game reminds me a lot of like the arcade coin ops, you know, like the Simpsons or X-Men or a number of other coin ops where you did side scrolling and your friends would like jump in and you'd all be at the cabinet together and yeah, the good old days.
The other game that I forgot to mention is House of the Dead remake is coming to Switch. And did you ever play that in the arcades, ladies, back in the day?
No.
Oh,
Doesn't
House of the
sound
Dead.
like a thing. Oh wait, I think I maybe have.
Oh yeah, no, House of the Dead was the best. It had the light guns, and you would like try to go into a mansion. I only played it.
You go to a
it's been
mansion and there's
real long
zombies,
time.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But it looks like I'm looking at footage of it right now. I mean, yeah, it's a remake, so it looks, fine. But either way, like I think it'll be a fun nostalgia trip because, you had the light guns and you'd have to like shoot and like try to like survive, and you win it, and then you lose all your money, and then you'd go whining to your parents and be like, "Oh, I'm out of money," and you'd be like, "Get a job." You'd be like,
Yeah.
"I'm 5."
That was me with the Terminator game. I loved playing that, but it was always so expensive. It was like $1, and then like there was a time when it became $2 a play. And so you really had to like be strategic about when you were going to play because you're like, well, I could keep playing Ms. Pac-Man or Mortal Kombat for like 1 or 2 quarters a piece, or I can save my quarters and go take one like 30-second run at Terminator.
Because those games are designed for you to fail, right? And so you
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
realize it at the time. But yeah, man, that shit was expensive. But now for a one-time cost on your Nintendo Switch, you can just play House of the Dead all you want.
But you need to get the fake gun props to hold. Those were really fun.
Oh yeah, the Wii had one of those. What was the Zapper?
Yeah.
Is that what it was called? Yeah, the Wii Zapper.
But like that was
back
the
in
whole
day.
point of like doing those arcade games to me is like they give you this really dumb plastic gun. And you're like
could you
trying
imagine
to
picking
pretend
up-
to shotgun things. Just like the big whatever Cabela's Big Hunter or whatever, the all the deer hunting games.
Oh, Cabela's Big Hunt. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Big Game
yeah.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun too.
That game is surprisingly like got long legs. It's still going.
People are like, we gotta shoot some deer. We're at this bar.
Yeah, Cabela's.
We've had a beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to bust out the plastic guns.
Kill
Can confirm.
animals.
Those games still
Fake
suck.
digital animals.
Yes.
I just got the latest one for my dad on the Switch maybe like 6 months ago. Broken as hell. He
Nice.
loved it because he doesn't know any better. But I couldn't handle watching him play because like it's so broken. But anyway.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the brief but semi-comprehensive recap of some of the highlights from the Indie Showcase. As I mentioned, we're not going to go over each and every individual announcement. If you guys want to watch the full showcase, head on over to Nintendo's channel and do that. I do have a couple in case you missed it. So Days Gone, the PlayStation 4 exclusive, is once again another Sony title coming to PC. So it's going to be out on May 18th. And I think a bunch of people are super excited about this, like the Supreme Commander of the Cyber Chihuahua Ninja Army, saying if Days Gone does well on PC, do you think Days Gone 2 might become a reality?
Ooh. So a bunch of stuff has come to light recently regarding Days Gone 2. Whether or not you want to
Yes.
believe all of it is one thing. But essentially in a Bloomberg article, it was revealed by Jason Schreier that Days Gone 2's pitch was rejected and the team has they're now working on something different. But I think it was over the weekend that here Jeff Ross, the former game director of Days Gone 2, was talking to David Jaffe during one of his streams about the pitch for Days Gone 2. And while he said he couldn't confirm nor deny the game had been canceled because of an NDA, he did talk a little bit about the pitch that they had for Days Gone 2, which was it was going to be a shared universe with co-op play. And it sounded like that was something they were really excited about. But anyway, just interesting. So I'm really sad that Days Gone 2, if you're going to believe it, isn't happening. I was actually, during our maternity leave, thinking about playing Days Gone and finishing it, because when I tried back in the day, it was too buggy for me and I couldn't get anywhere. But now I'm kind of like, well, if they're not making another one, do I want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think what was crazy to me was I played a lot of that game and like cleared out a map almost, and then talked to Greg and he was like, "Yeah, you're like halfway."
I remember that conversation.
I was just like, "What? What do you mean?" And so that was when I ran into a mission that was really bothering me and I couldn't do it for some. I don't remember specifically at this point because it's been a while, but basically hit a wall at a mission. Was like, you know what, I don't even know if I have another 20 hours in me at this point, so I think we're gonna just call it a day here.
Yeah, that was because we were all playing like pre-release and then right when the game came out, before Ben had the chance to add a lot of fixes to the game, and the game actually went on to do quite well sales wise for Sony, and a lot of people in our communities, both in the Facebook group and in the Discord, talked about how much they really enjoyed playing Days Gone.
I didn't have that many bugs, so yeah, the 20 hours I spent in it was enjoyable. I just didn't think it warranted another 20. So personally for me, I just felt like the story really should have been edited down more, or they should have added more to it to make it worth that much time. But I thought that the world was really beautiful. I thought traversal was really fun. Like there were a lot of elements that were very positive about that game. Overall, I just felt like it, for me, did not have the legs to last.
Yeah. I think it'll do really well on PC. Obviously, Sony has seen that every game they've brought to PC has been profitable for them. So why not make those ports happen, especially for games like Days Gone that have been out now for almost 2 years?
Oh God,
that game has been
out.
Where
does time go?
So I'm glad that you brought up that Bloomberg article though, Brittany, because I didn't put it in the show notes because the Jason Schreier article from Bloomberg.com is very long. And if you want to read his backstory on it, you're welcome to go seek out his article. But there's just a lot of things in that article that it's just so much speculation and anonymous people talking about what could have been or what may have happened in a project that is probably not going to come to be, or if it is, it's going to be under a different team. So essentially, the big bullet point from that story is about a team of people doing The Last of Us remake. There was a lot of talk about The Last of Us remake on Twitter over the last week. And I guess, I take a look at this article and I'm just like, I don't know. There's just nothing about the idea of a Last of Us remake that is exciting or interesting to me, because the game isn't that old, right? The game is like, 7 years old, almost 8 years old now. So not that old. And like the game was remastered for PlayStation 4 and looked pretty dang good. Yeah. So I don't know why we would be talking about a full-blown remake at this stage. It just is kind of a head-scratcher for me.
Do you think it could have anything to do with Sony seeing the success of The Witcher and then seeing how many people started playing The Witcher, and then they're gonna have a nice shiny version of The Last of Us for new players or whatever new gamers, air quotes here, to pick up and play?
But like, it's not like The Witcher. Then it's not like CDP went back and remastered the first one.
Exactly.
It's true. Yeah.
They didn't even like fully remake the second one. No. Right? They just remastered it.
We know those are like not as good. So.
Yeah.
We'll just focus on the third, which is a masterpiece.
Exactly. And I think if anything, where Sony could potentially put their resources, knowing that they want to have some kind of tie-in with the upcoming television series on HBO, is to make a PS5 version of both of those games that isn't just the backwards compatible version, but that is like an up-resed version of both Last of Us Remastered and The Last of Us Part 2, because those are still just backwards compatible versions of the game, if I'm not mistaken. They're not official PlayStation 5 versions, right? Because TLU 2 still didn't get a PlayStation 5 version.
I think you're right.
It's just up-resed, right?
I don't remember enough to confirm or deny this.
Let me double check this. But regardless, we're not talking
right.
about TLU 2 in this story. The story is about the
TLU
original
1.
TLU.
TLU
So-
1.
Numero
TLU
uno.
Part 1.
Somebody in my Twitter feed was like, my theory is that they're going to remake TLU with the actors from the television series.
Oh
And
my
I was
God.
like, LOL.
What?
LOL. No, they
No.
would not. They would never
Oh.
do that to Troy Baker or to Ashley Johnson. They
No.
would never.
Not only that, especially if you're trying to make sure that the TV show is its own entity and like you don't want people super mixing and matching them too much.
Right.
You would never do that because you want them to be like, no, this is the game. But then we have this other story over here and it may or may not be similar in some parts, but
Mm-hmm.
you want to keep it separate, keep it safe.
Helps the expectations, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, no, I am correct. There is no PlayStation 5 version of the game. It's just a PS4 version of the game.
It's wild that I just like, I feel like I played that game on a PS5 and I didn't.
Nope.
It's just
Nope,
weird.
we definitely,
It's
definitely
weird.
played it on PS4
Again,
Pro.
what is time? I don't understand. It's really messing with me today.
But I'm sure it looks great when you play it in backwards compatibility mode on,
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
PS5.
No, I'm sure it's. I mean, because it looked great on the PlayStation 4. It just made it want to take off into space. That's the only.
It sure did.
It was struggling real hard. It was like, please, for the love of God, we can't render any more cutscenes. Think of the children.
Oh, those poor teraflops just couldn't handle
They
it.
couldn't do it.
Speaking of the PS5, we got our first big update. Well, I guess it's not the first one, but it's, to me, one of the most significant updates for the PS5 this week. Extended storage is finally here.
Yay.
Well,
Oh yeah, I
mostly.
saw a little thing on my PlayStation, and it booped up, and it was like, "Would you like extended?" Oh, I just closed it.
You're like,
I
"Nah."
said goodbye. I'll figure it out later what this is. Now you'll tell
Yep.
me.
Yes, I will. So the long-awaited feature of being able to use a USB drive for PlayStation 5 games has finally been added. So the extended storage on USB drives for PlayStation 4 games has been there since launch, but obviously a lot of people like myself like downloading the new games for PlayStation 5 and don't want to have to keep deleting my old games. Now the catch is that you still have to move your PS5 extended storage onto the SSD when you want to play it, because that's how the PlayStation 5 plays games, is from the SSD. But you can just move them over, and it's much faster than re-downloading those files or recopying those files from a disk
That
than
makes sense.
just moving it over from the drive. So that is great. They still haven't added that internal SSD expansion that they showed when they did the dismantling of the PS5 video. If we remember when they took all the pieces apart and showed you all the insides. They're like, look, we have these little slots where you can add your own internal storage, and boom, you don't have to worry about plugging in a USB, and
That's
that
right.
functionality still is not supported.
Considering
Like
there's
the
only
M2s
one
or
USB
something.
slot on the front of that thing.
Yeah.
There's one on the back too.
I know, but in the front, because
Front.
I don't want to pull
Yeah.
the whole thing out and like
Yeah.
go around. It's-
No, I'm with you. It's annoying.
yeah.
It's super
Yeah.
annoying.
Should have put two in the front. Why didn't you do that?
money.
Money.
Because Mark Cerny was like, it's not
Money.
pretty
She was
enough.
like, it's not visually appealing.
as if,
And
as
that
if the
sing-songy
PlayStation
voice.
5 was really worried about that.
They're like with the curves
The curves.
and the contours, and the only one USB slot looks like a weird little chiclet hanging out.
Boy, oh boy.
You know the one feature, I actually, hold on, did we get an actual question about this? I
Yes,
think we did.
Benjamin
We did.
Ketcherside, Brittany, wants to know, what PS5 feature do you want to see in the next big update?
Tell
And
us,
I know
Brittany.
we're all kicking a dead horse here because everybody talks about this, but I can't tell you how many times I hold down the PlayStation home button because I want to put that bitch in rest mode. But you hold it down and nothing happens. You know, from the PS4, right? Where you hold it and it's like rest mode or shut off. All I want is the ability to press that thing down and put it into rest mode. I don't want to have to push the button and go down to the menu and then hit rest mode. I don't want to have to do that. That's all I want in life. I don't care about these new trophy things they implemented. Hell, even like the expandable storage, I know Andrea is so excited about, and I'm very happy for you, boo. Like, I just delete shit, you know, and
Yeah, me too.
I just want that home functionality.
Amen. Preach it, sister. I do the same thing. I have to forget that it's just a tap, but then that brings up the bar, and then you have to scroll all the way to the
over.
end, and then you can
So
put it
dark.
into rest. So it's like multiple button presses to get it into rest mode, whereas before, if you just held down the power or the PlayStation button, like the quick menu came up.
There was also
Yeah.
something dumb. I don't remember exactly, so I may be incorrect recounting this story. But I would think I was trying to like turn off the controller while I was watching something, but every time I hit the little button, it would pause the movie, and so I couldn't turn the controller off through the thing because then I would have to like turn it back on to play the movie again. It was really stupid.
Huh.
I was like, all right, you win, I guess. I don't
So annoying.
Sit
What do you
there.
want from me? They want all the
Yeah.
battery life is what they want.
It's so cool and so annoying at the same time.
Just little shit, you know, that
Yeah.
when
Quality
you
of life.
test out hardware and you're like, oh, this actually would have made this better. I have a hair in my eye and it's driving me nuts. Oh my God.
Let it become
Oh.
one with you, as you told me with the dog hair.
Let it become one with your eyelashes.
Thanks. It's feather lashes.
You're like, this is not
it's
helpful.
It's the new rage. Ow, it hurts.
What? Oh no!
Well, we have one more thing, and then we'll take a quick break so you can get this hair out of your eye.
Thanks.
The Nintendo Switch Lite, the smaller companion to the Nintendo Switch, is coming in blue in May. Woo! New color.
Woo.
Very exciting. But is it purple or is it blue? So somebody also mentioned this to me online. Brittany, do you think it's purple?
I think it's like a bluish purple.
I haven't seen it.
Well, they call it blue.
Well, you know,
It could be
Nintendo-
blurple.
Blurple.
Blurple's a thing.
It looks blue to me, but
You'd have to
yeah.
pull up a picture
is
of
this
it.
like a gold dress, black dress debate?
I mean, like I can see it being called blue. Like I really can, but it has like there's something about it. It's a little mix. It's like when you're mixing an egg on Easter in the egg dye, and you get a little bit of purple in your blue. You know, that's how I see it anyway.
I kind of see that, but it looks really blue
That
to
looks
me.
pretty blue. Looks pretty
Well-
royal blue.
Royal blue.
Well, like a deepen. I don't know. It's like a cross between royal blue and navy.
Yeah,
Like those two colors had a baby.
I'd say like 82% blue and like 18% purple.
A dash of purple.
Yeah, with a dash of purple. It's a really nice color though. That's all.
I'm trying to get the exact name of the color from their Twitter account. It just says introducing a fresh new blue
Color.
Nintendo Switch Lite. Fresh
Yeah.
new blue. The blue
Fresh
Nintendo
new
Switch
blue.
Lite releases separately on the same day as the hilarious adventure game Miitopia on May 21st.
It is a strange
Hey.
color, but it's definitely blue.
It looks blue. Purple.
Blurple.
Blurple.
All right, well, you guys can rage debate in the comments. Is it blue or is it purple? We're going to take our first break of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about what we've been playing. Stick with us. We'll see you in a minute. And now it's time for announcements. In case you missed it, Britt and I are very pregnant. Hooray!
Yay!
So at the anniversary stream on our social media channels and on our Patreon page, we made the announcement that Brittany and I will both be going on maternity leave. And Brittany will be starting in May, and we will be starting, and by we I mean me, but Steimer and I will no longer be doing the show, starting in June.
I'll be drinking pina coladas. Sorry, ladies.
Hey, I can make a virgin pina colada.
Ooh, yeah. You could do that.
Unfortunately for What's Good Games, the timing lines up right around E3 2021. Obviously, it's going to be a digital event, but I'm hoping that Steimer and I will be able to do some coverage. But of course, we are just going to have to take that one day at a time as far as how that will go. So if you want to learn more details about what the hiatus means for What's Good Games, we have a full post on our Patreon page. But essentially, we're going to be going dark for the summer, as much as it pains us to break our uploading streak. We haven't missed an episode yet. We figure,
this is a good reason.
Babies.
Two new
There's a good reason.
little
As good a reason as
two
we're ever
youths.
gonna get.
The two youths are joining the crew. As my cousin Vinny reference, if you do not know what I'm talking about.
Youths.
The two youths.
That's a hard word to say.
Youths. Yeah.
Youths.
Youths.
But we will be back hopefully in August. All things go as planned, and we'll still be, popping around social media and doing things, but there will be no podcast. So we'll be pausing the Patreon for the months of June, July, and August. And again, all of the details over on the Patreon page. But until then, we've got some fun events coming up, like the 2021 Dice Awards. They're going to be live streamed on Thursday, April 22nd, next week, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Anybody else have to do a double take when they saw that announcement? I was like, wait a minute, like,
I had the doctor
10
appointment.
a.m.
I had a doctor's appointment for 11 a.m. that day because I thought for sure I would miss the Dice Awards. So I had to call and reschedule. I'm like, well, apparently we're having these awards at 10 a.m., which is just kind of an
It's
odd
Vegas
time,
time where you're just not sure what time it is at all because it's dark and they keep you indoors.
Well, everything is digital and pre-recorded this year, hosted once again by Greg Miller and Jessica Chobot, but this year joined by friend of the show, Khalith Adams from Spawn on Me. So that's very exciting. Of course, the Dice Awards are put on by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, better known as the Oscars of video games, where they are peer voted and peer nominated by the video game development community. And I'm excited to see who's going to win. And as I tweeted, it won't be nearly as controversial as last year's Game of the Year winner. I have to imagine.
What was last year's?
Untitled Goose Game won Game of the Year 2020 at the Dice Awards. And I was upset about it.
That seems correct for that year.
No, it does not. But we're not going to get into that debate right now.
I just meant because of the trash fire that 2020 was, that seems like a correct way to have kicked it all off.
But don't forget, the 2020 Dice Awards happened in February before the pandemic, because Brittany and I presented an award.
And I know, you guys went IRL. You had gold glitzy dresses.
Yeah, because the games for 2020
were actually
awards were 2019 games.
I know.
Yeah. Anywho, we'll also be doing our April Patreon streams on Saturday, April 24th. So mark your calendars, patrons, for the Happy Hour Q&A and the exclusive podcast stream. And that's it for announcements.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the What's Good Games podcast. This is segment 2, where we talk about what we've been playing and any preview events we may have attended digitally. But first, I'm going to tell you that this segment is brought to you by Felix Gray. So Felix Gray glasses are the blue light glasses that started it all. Just ask Christine Steimer, who always looks bomb in hers.
Yes,
5 years ago, I got you, girl. 5 years ago, Felix Gray realized our eyes weren't meant to look at screens all day and designed glasses to make daily screen time more comfortable and the workday more productive. Felix Gray lenses filter 15 times more blue light that can make screen time tough on eyes and disruptive to sleep. I have some Felix Gray glasses. Obviously, Steimer does. I would put them on for you right now, but they're actually in my hospital bug out bag.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's a good place for them to be.
Felix Gray offers classic frame styles made from acetate and hand-finished for a durable, lightweight, and really comfortable pair of glasses. Blue light lenses come standard starting at $95, or you can add your prescription at checkout starting at $145. If you can fill your screen time, or if you're not sure if blue light glasses are right for you, start with the best in blue light. Try Felix Gray. And with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose but eye strain. So some common symptoms of eye strain. If you're like, do I have eye strain? I'm going to tell you. Sore, tired, burning, itching, or watery eyes. Do you suffer from headaches or migraines? Do you have a sore neck, shoulders, or back, an inability to focus, difficulty concentrating, poor sleep, or fatigue? And did you know that major blue light sources come from smartphones, tablets, computers, TVs, Kindles, and LED bulbs? Well, now you do. This has been the Educational Hour with Brittany Brombacher. So get yourself a pair of glasses made for the 21st century and designed for modern, hardworking eyes. You have nothing to lose, again, except for maybe eye strain. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/games for the best blue light glasses on the market. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/games. Free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. felixgrayglasses.com/games.
Let's talk about what we've been playing. And for people who listened to the podcast last week, it is unfortunately for you a lot more of what we were playing last week, which is Outriders. So Rihanna Manuel joined us last week to talk about the Outriders experience she has been having. And Brittany, I think you are our first Devastator?
No.
You're playing Devastator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so we have nobody playing Trickster.
We have nobody playing Trickster.
That's the class we're missing.
Yeah.
Although Greg is.
Yeah, but he's not part of this show.
I know he's not, but he did jump into my game the other night. So Jackie and I were playing, and we were like, we're really tired because at this point it was like 10:30. We're like, do we do like one more or do we just go to bed? We're like, well, let's just get to this next town and then we'll go to bed. Not realizing that it's actually the mission sequence that we did for the demo. And then we started and I was like, oh no, this is longer than I thought it would be. We just want to go to bed. This was a mistake. But so we start playing it and then I turned around. I finally successfully just changed it to friends only because I don't care. My friends list is super small. If you're on there, I actually know you. And I turned around and Greg was in our game. And I was like, oh, Greg joined. And I was like, neat. This will make it go much faster because he's super high level, has gotten really good gear. So yeah, he was just like running around killing shit. And then Jackie and I were in the back, like just picking off other people. And it was really fun. But then I had to text him because he wasn't on audio. And I was like, just so you know, we're just doing this and then we're going to bed. And he was like, okay, no worries. I just wanted to shoot some shit. I was like, there you go. But
Perfect.
Yeah, it worked out really well. I was like, thank you, because you made this like go half the speed. It was really great.
I know that feeling. I was streaming some Outriders the other day, and I was playing with Joey, and we were also playing with Nanobiologist, and he was like level 30, I think.
Yeah, that's the max.
And she was like level 22, and here's me at like level 13 or 12 or something.
Yeah.
And we were all pyromancers, so we were like,
you're gonna have a bad time with it.
We actually didn't because we were doing so much DPS because we were all glass cannons and Nanobiologist was so high level that he was just like face tanking. I think he was just like, I don't care because they were like, playing in my game. So, it brings it kind of, levels his skills down a bit, but he had like all those high end, like legendary gear and things like that. And I still haven't even seen what a piece of legendary gear looks like. I got my first piece of purple gear, was very excited about it.
Oh, nice. Shit, girl. Yeah, Jason and I have been playing a ton. We're at World Tier 14 now. And I think we're both...
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's real rough. It's hard, but it's really good. And I think I'm level 20. We're both level 28 at this point. So yeah, we've just been playing a lot of it. I've actually just been playing a lot of Outriders and Story of Seasons and Cozy Grove. Because like I'm kind of at this place right now, like knowing that like my kid's going to be here in the next like 4.5 weeks, that it's honestly really hard to try to like play anything different. So I'm just throwing everything into Outriders. But yeah, like we are just having so much fun with it. And I think this thing I talked about with Steimer when you were gone, Andrea, was the abilities for the Devastator for me are just so fun and so unique because you have like protection skills with the reflect bullets. You have the one where you can jump into the air and dive at enemies. You have impale. You have all these other fun, like really heavy DPS moves that for a tank that you usually don't expect to have. And Jason's playing as a pyromancer, of course, like everybody else is apparently. And we've gotten maybe like 3 or 4 pieces of legendary armor and like 5 pieces of legendary weapons, 5 legendary weapons or so. And I think the thing that keeps us so hooked is just the crafting system and the mod system. I don't know how much you've dived into that with Dr. Zahidi, but it can get real deep. And it's fun to customize your play style depending on which enemies you're encountering. You know, like for example, we just got to a certain area where suddenly we're now fighting armored enemies, and my guns, which used to be really effective, really suck. So then we had to go in and kind of figure out, okay, so if I do this armor piercing and Jason uses, you know, the burn skill, and I apply a mod that increases burn damage by 30%, you know, how does that work? And then it just becomes like super easy at that point. But anyway, yeah, we love it. We love the challenge of the World Tier 14, even though it's a little rough. But we're just continually getting better, and we're having so much fun.
There was one time where Jackie and I, because we're the same combo as you and Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Where we actually had to bump the world tier down because we were just like, this part feels kind of broken in the sense that like it was a very short portion of this one mission. We've been doing fine up until it on world level 8, and we were like level 13 or 14 ish around there. And then we got to this one section where it's a really narrow, very small map, and it just continued to spawn out really tanky dudes. And the really tanky dudes wouldn't like hang back. They would immediately just come for you. So there was just nowhere to go. There was no cover. There was like, we were just like, we're fucked. Like we just literally are getting mowed down, and there's literally nothing we can do about it. We tried so hard. We're like, okay, maybe if we run back up here, but if you run back up this other way, more dudes start spawning out of this one little house. And we're like, this is actually impossible. This might be feasible if we had 2 other players, but we don't. And so we were just like, we're like, screw it, we'll bump it down to 7. And then that took us 2 tries and we got through it. And then we bumped it back up to 8 and played the rest of the mission on 8 just fine. So I was like, I think that one part was just overtuned, or there was something going on with the spawn rate that was incorrect, because it was just literally spurning out captain level almost people. There were like 6 or 7 of them at a time.
Wow.
And
That sounds
I was
fun.
like, we need squishier people to shoot and kill because that's how I heal. And there were only like a few of those around. And once they were gone, you're just kind of like SOL.
Yeah, Joey and I ran into that issue when she and I were playing together as 2 pyromancers, that we just couldn't survive because the pyromancer's heal mechanic is so tied to being able to actually get the enemies down to 0 health. And I was doing a lot of great damage, but I was soaking so much damage in return that I would die before they would die. And it didn't work out. But I know that they're doing a lot of balance tweaking, and they're fixing and still polishing the game. And I think that with the success we've seen with that game so far, that hopefully they'll keep adding more of that stuff and kind of give end game players a little bit more to grind for, because I think people are forgetting that this is not a live service game, even though it kind of feels like it is for a looter shooter, but that people have been grinding like the expeditions and things like that. It's interesting that you guys talk about the Devastator being, you know, such a beefy class, because they had an issue where players who were playing in public matchmaking were getting booted from teams for being Devastator class because it wasn't doing enough DPS in like a mixed group setting. And so they're looking at ways to potentially buff that class.
Fuck yeah, buff me, baby.
Buff us. Yeah,
I mean,
I saw
but
that
again,
too.
I'm building into the full tank tree right now because I just need to survive so that one of us survives. And then Jackie's just going, you know, kind of full glass cannon with her skill tree, so that she can burn people down and I can like jump around and hopefully take some of the fire. But so I personally, like, I don't do that much damage unless my gun does a lot of damage. But that's kind of the way I'm building it, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah, our poor Devastators are getting kicked out of the end game content, Steimer.
Aw.
'Cause they're like, nah, you're a tank. You don't do enough damage.
And you're like, the whole point of the tank is to not do damage. The point of the tank is
soak
to
the damage.
soak the damage up and pull aggro so that you can kill them with their backs turned.
I do have a
Have
pro
you ever
tip.
played an MMO?
In case anyone's also run into this issue, there is a boss fight with a certain character, and what happens is it's a known crash. This character does a move during this boss fight, and the game will just immediately crash. And it happened with us maybe like 5 or 6 times, and it takes her maybe about a minute and a half for this skill to be used that crashes your game. Anyway, we couldn't defeat this character because it kept crashing. So what we did is we lowered our world tier down to 1, and we shot that person up within like 20 seconds. Defeated.
You're like, I have a solution.
But doesn't that then affect the loot you get from
Yes.
that boss?
Yes, it absolutely does. But it was better than being completely stuck, which we were at.
Fair. Fair
yeah,
point.
so
Because once
hopefully
they
it'll do
patch it, you
something-
can go back and replay it.
Yeah, exactly. But so just a little pro tip: if you find yourself in a spot that keeps crashing, just take that world tier down, and it'll be glorious. You'll feel so OP.
Yeah, it was nice to have the option of being like, okay, fine, let's just. Because I could tell Jackie really didn't want to bump the world tier down. And I was like, we just need to do it to like, let's experiment. We'll see if we can get
For
past
science.
it. Yeah, for science on level 7. We did get it through on level 7, so we're like, fine. Then we just put it back up. It's like,
Yeah.
we just needed, there was a little wrinkle in this plan. Gotta iron it out.
Help. Just a little
bit of help.
A little buff for that one section. That's it.
Yes.
No shame in that. Like we said, we love baby-ass baby mode here. Even more so now. Well, I'm glad to hear that you both are having a great time. It's certainly a game I want to spend more time with. I just haven't been spending a lot of time on any of my consoles. Even my Animal Crossing Island has been getting neglected lately.
Lots
I
of
logged
weeds.
in for Bunny Day and
Did you see
decorated
all
a
the
bunch of my
eggs?
stuff and got a bunch of the DIYs. What?
Did you see the plight of the eggs?
Yes, I did. There were a lot of eggs on Bunny Day in particular. And I saw a zipper and I got almost all of the DIYs. There was like 1 or 2 missing. So like in order to get all of the DIY recipes in Animal Crossing for Bunny Day, you have to craft all of the other ones. And in order to craft all the other ones, you have to farm a bunch of eggs. And I was like, no thanks. I'm good with what I got. And then I just didn't log in for like another like week. And I was just like, that's where I'm at now. I feel like I just am a little tired of it. So I am spending more time with Cozy Grove, and I streamed some Cozy Grove. So if you guys have been wanting to see some gameplay, if you go to twitch.tv/whatsgoodgames, you can see my Cozy Grove stream and check it out. And that game came out officially last week. And I enjoy that game, but I've hit the block, Brittany. Now, you tell me how many days you've played now in Cozy Grove.
Oh, maybe 14, 15.
Okay, so you're like at that 2-week mark. And what I do like about Cozy Grove, unlike Animal Crossing, is that even though they keep track of the date, they don't keep track of your playtime as time passed. Each day you log in is considered the next day. So if you miss 2 or 3 days of logging in, like the game doesn't like penalize you.
It's not like
Animal-
where were you?
Exactly. Like no one on the
Yeah.
island is going to be like, excuse me, you've neglected me. Unlike Animal Crossing, and they're all like, I haven't talked to you. What are you doing?
And you're like,
The
not
shame.
talking to you. I wanted you to move off my island. Why didn't you get the hint?
Oh, there's this one guy. I finally resorted to hitting him with my net. But it doesn't work. You have to hit them 3 times in a row.
No, I've definitely hit people 3 times in a row with my net, and they are like,
Well, you have to do it multiple times, like multiple days.
Oh,
The
okay.
surefire way, if you really want the hack to get people to move off your island, involves time traveling. You have to like hit them with the net 3 times so they're upset with you, and then time travel 30 days into the future.
It takes them 30 days to go from I'm upset with you to I want to move.
Yes, it's weird. I
God,
know.
that's a long ass fuse.
Well, you know, they want to give you a chance at redemption. They believe in you.
I
and
want
being
you to
a good
leave.
person.
I want you to go. That's
I'm with
Please
you. There's this one. I have this trash bird, Jacob, who I've been trying to get off of my island forever, and I'm just gonna have to do it. I'm just gonna have to time travel his ass off. Like, get out of my island,
Please?
Jacob.
leave. You are uninvited from
His house is literal trash. It's a trash pile.
Yeah,
No,
it's
Garbage
not
bags in it and
attractive.
stuff.
Yeah, if I could clear my I could start over, but I don't want to. But
What you have to do is you have to start a new island on a different Switch.
why would I do that?
Oh.
So that way you can keep all of your items and then you can trade with yourself.
That seems
Oh.
I just have to spend another $400.
Listen, it's a small price to pay, okay? It's either that or you have to do like another however many hours. you
Where's
put in
my
Animal Crossing.
benefactory? Where's my beneficiary rather?
Listen, you
with
are welcome to come and do touch
infusing-
trades on my island whenever you would like.
infusing my $1 million Bell bank account.
I will gladly loan you money. You let me know. I've got bells in the bank, baby.
Sugar mama.
And I'm spending them on shit. There's nothing to buy in Animal Crossing now. I have over 10 million
You're like,
bells
I
in the
have
bank
so
and
much
nothing
money.
to spend them on.
Capitalism at its finest.
There needs to be like a luxury Animal Crossing like market.
They're like, it's like the Louis Vuitton, but
Yes, there's
Yeah.
one item, well technically
Oh my
two.
God.
There's these crowns that will appear in the Able Sisters every once in a while, and I've already bought them, but the crowns are 1 million bells.
wow. That's
Oh.
how humble brag this was. Like, I already bought them.
I've got those
But
crowns
they're
already.
1 million bells each.
Listen, I hit the turnip trade hard in my early days.
I remember and when you started getting hardcore into it, I was just like, I don't think I could ever do this. This is too much work for me. I'll be poor.
Ow, my cheeks.
Oh my goodness. The only thing I'm missing now is a couple DIYs, and sadly for me, on Nookazon, they're not selling for bells, which I have. They're like any high-end power Animal Crossing user, they sell for Nook Mile tickets, the one thing that you can't really easily get as a power user in Animal
How do you
Crossing.
sell someone your tickets?
So you go to your ATM in Tom Nook's shop, right? And you can get a Nook Mile ticket for 2,000 Nook Miles.
That's right. You do make the tickets.
A little paper
It's been
ticket.
so long since I played this game. My island would be a shit show if I were to travel back there right now. There
Yeah.
would just be
I'll
crap
clean it up for
everywhere.
you. Just
It's
next time
jungle.
you come over, bring your Switch and I'll clean your island up.
Okay.
And I've got, thanks to Stream with Luck, thank you very much, I've got the Sanrio amiibo cards. So you
Oh,
can get all
cute.
of the Sanrio Hello Kitty villagers on your island.
Oh, hell yeah. Replace all these dumbass villagers I
yeah,
have.
I got you. You just bring your Switch over next time.
Okay. Okay.
I love pulling weeds.
Yeah.
Brittany's like, what's even happening in this conversation?
I just
right
love
now?
that this whole conversation is two of you just fucking straight faced, just like not even like a hint of anything, just shot in like it's normal
It's like,
life.
yeah, you want to pull weeds on my island? Go for it. Again, I remember the last time I went onto my island and it was an evening and a tarantula literally ran up to me as I was still in the motion of the animation coming out of your house, bit me, and I passed out, and I immediately...
We were like, nope.
I was
I'm
just
done with
like,
this game.
what the fuck? I didn't even have a chance to move, and this spider bit me. What a little asshole.
Well, the spiders are almost gone. I believe the tarantulas are gone at the end of May, but then the scorpions come.
Yes, just the scorpion time.
I don't know. I feel like the scorpions never like aggressively chased me the way the tarantulas did.
I actually didn't make it to scorpion season. I played through... I'm laughing because Brittany is laughing. But I don't know that I saw a scorpion in the game.
I will show you the ways. Anywho, enough about Animal Crossing. Steimer, you have started reading book 3 of the Stormlight Archive.
I
That's
have.
very exciting.
I finished the book, and then you were still, recovering, and so I had to wait 2 weeks till I could get the next one. And
Thank
I
you
was
for your
just like,
patience.
I want the book. Should I just drive to her house and get the book and leave?
You absolutely could have. Yes.
I could have, but I was like, you can also just wait. Stop being a baby. That was me pep talking myself. And yeah, so now I've got it and I'm excited to start reading it. But I also know that you have told me to pace myself because you're not done with book 4 yet. And if I finish book 3 and you're still in the middle of book 4,
Then you just have to go buy book 4.
I will have to. I'll have to spend money.
It's true. It's a good kick in the pants for me to pick up the pace with Rhythm of War.
Because I also am going to want to talk to you
release.
about it. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to be like, so what'd you think of? And you'll be like, I'm not done yet. And I'll be like, no, please finish the book.
Yeah, I've been not reading as much as I have not been doing much of anything. Like I said, I feel like I'm just like, I'm in like
We're all just existing at this
I'm in
point.
potato vibe really a lot, where I just
Yeah.
like sit on the couch like a potato and do literally nothing but just stare at the wall because
I
I'm like,
feel
I have no energy to literally do anything else. I'm not going to scroll TikTok. I'm not going to look at Twitter. I'm literally just sitting here staring at endless hours of HGTV over and over again.
Right?
gosh.
And you wonder where the day went, where the week goes. And you're like, what did I accomplish this week? Oh, yeah. Stared at a wall.
Yeah.
I feel you.
You're all the GLaDOS potato. They're like, how are you? Because I'm a potato.
Potato. So good.
Exactly. But I have upgraded my television watching thanks to Susu Dip, friend of the show, Maria, my bell benefactor, told me, she's like, stop watching people make over houses for a little while and watch this show called Riverdale. Have either of you
Is
heard of Riverdale?
is that a bump up? I don't know. I don't think it is. I feel like that's a lateral move at best. Possibly a step down once you get to later seasons.
Depends which show we're comparing it to. But so I had never seen any of it, but John had seen like 4 seasons of it, and he was like, I will rewatch Riverdale. So I vaguely remember when the show came out, and for people who were like, what the heck is Riverdale? It's a CW teen dramedy about yeah, so
dramatic
it's like,
comedy.
exactly.
Oh.
So there's some funny moments, and then there's some real dark moments. And it's based on the characters from the Archie comics.
What?
So like Jughead,
That's
Betty,
awesome.
Veronica.
I used to read Archie all the time. I did not know that.
But
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't really
No.
just goes to some weird places.
It really does, and it took me until like, the second episode to like connect the dots that it was the Archie comics. And John's like, how did you not? I mean, it's like, whose name is Jughead? And I was like, that's fair.
The Jughead is a pretty clear indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because it's a CW series, it's very like thirsty, hot teens thirsting for each other. And I mean, they're all very good looking actors, I have to say. Like,
Yeah.
even
they
all
are.
the support cast, like it's just full of pretty people. Everyone is pretty in this show. And there's even the like obligatory gay best friend in the show, and then you've got the parents who are thirsting for each other. It's just like it's a lot. But it was interesting, and I've been enjoying it for what it is, which is mostly trashy TV.
Oh, 100%. My favorite thing to do is actually, it's not my favorite, but it happens sometimes. If you go on YouTube, you'll see a lot of like Riverdale cringe compilations, and those are really fun to watch. Because it just
now I know what I'm
compiles
doing later.
all of the worst lines, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this show, but I will absolutely watch this cut down.
Noted. That sounds fun.
There's a character named Cheryl in the series who is such a weird, interesting,
Is she the
terrible
redhead?
character. She's the redhead. Yeah.
I remember she was always the hot one in the comics, right? That they always wanted her nuts or something. Yeah.
And her lipstick is perfect in every scene that she's in the TV series. Like she's got perfect lip
God.
color in every scene. And she plays this, like uppity, well-to-do, like I think I'm like the queen of the campus character, right? And she's got some really good zingers. I mean, she's really mean. She's a straight up bitch in a lot of scenes.
Ooh.
Like a bully even, but some of her one-liners are really funny.
You're like really selling me on this. Like for real. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds perfect right now. Like trashy fucking TV.
Oh, yeah. It is a
Yeah.
trash dumpster fire, but it's definitely going to be an enjoyable fire to watch.
Yeah, watch it.
Perfect.
The first 4 seasons are on Netflix. So if you're interested.
How many seasons of that show are there?
I don't know. Let me double check.
Yeah.
To the internet.
Cheryl, was it Cheryl Blossom? Was that
Yes,
her?
it
that her?
is. Cheryl
Oh my
Blossom.
God. Oh.
Of the maple syrup fortune.
There's 5?
There are 5 seasons.
All right.
So season 5,
Brilliant.
I believe, is not on Netflix. It's somewhere else.
There's like the famous line from Archie, and it's just a real meme line about like, you don't understand the highs and lows of high school football or some shit like that. And it's just like,
no.
like I really want to look this up now because I don't remember the exact quote, but it's pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really good ones because I mean, like the town of Riverdale is like supposed to be this like small town America place, and there's the traditional like north side versus the south side, and
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football is an actual line in one of the episodes at some point in this series.
I think what's I've been enjoying about it is that it reminds us old folk like me who haven't been to high school in quite some time, that like that time of your life was your world. Everything revolved around what happened in high school and who your high school friends were and the activities that you did. And particularly as someone like me from a smaller town, I mean, Fargo isn't like super small town, but it was like, it's like 75,000 people. So relatively small.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it does revolve around what's happening at the high school. And I kind of related with some of the really minor dramas that they have. I was like, this is high school in a nutshell. Everything is dramatic. Even the littlest things are dramatic.
They just go from high school to like mega weird later. It's bizarre.
It does kind of, I've heard it jumps the shark a little.
Oh yeah.
Like later on in the show.
Also the line before that one is, I dropped out in the 4th grade to run drugs to support my Nana.
Well, listen, Nana needs.
So Nana needs some food. So your 4th grade drug dealer here to serve.
Anyway.
Oh god.
But trash fire is Riverdale.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with my time instead of playing video games. But I promise I will play something for the show for next week because I have a long list of games. And I'm starting to get more energy day over day now that I can finally eat solid foods, everybody.
Yay!
It's exciting. Yeah.
Good for you.
Vegetables are back on the menu. It's a glorious day that I can eat stuff that's not just SpaghettiOs. As much as I like SpaghettiOs, you gotta have some variety.
Yeah.
Anywho, I believe that's going to wrap it up for us for this week. Thank you so much again to everybody who popped by our anniversary stream. If you guys want to watch that archive, you can catch it at twitch.tv/whatsgoodgames. And I believe we will also be uploading it to YouTube. There's also the places where you can watch our Resident Evil Showcase watch along. And don't forget, this coming up week, we will be having some fun watch alongs for the DICE Awards. And we'll be back next Friday with another podcast for you. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Goodbye, everybody.